Good morning. So today we about to, deliver these shingles. Right now I gotta do my pre-trip and all that. I got that right there so that I can make sure that water separator is tight. Because I had issues before. I mean, y'all probably seen that video I did where I had issues with that water separator. I think that's what it's called. In the fuel, it had got loose, and when they get too loose, air get up in there, and then next thing you know, the truck won't start, and they got to repurge the system and all that. No, it becomes a headache. So I bought one of those. It wasn't expensive. I think it was about $10 or something like that. Bought that. Just make sure it's tight, so I ain't got to go through that again. But this is where we at now. Again, everything sits down, tied together real good, so we can get up out of here. I actually went into that store first, so that I can get what I need to get. This video was filmed on the 27th, I think it was, or February 27th or 28th. So y'all gotta forgive me if I don't remember a whole lot, because today is March 8th. Yeah, man. The thing is, with these with me doing these voiceovers, man, these doing this flatbed stuff take up a lot of time, and by the time I get done, man, I be tired, man. So when I do get around to editing and then doing these voiceover, man, it could be maybe a couple of weeks before I get around to it. So at that point, it's like, man, I gotta try to figure out what I did, like what, try to remember what I need to remember and all that. So that's how that go, man. I gotta plug this computer in real quick. One thing I'm gonna try to do is I'm gonna try to keep these videos under 30 minutes. I don't want these videos to get too long. Because if they get too long, then more than likely y'all not gonna watch them, number one. And number two, I gotta try to figure out what to talk about. It's not a whole lot of stuff that I want to talk about, in one video. I kind of want to spread the conversation around around other videos. Another issue I'm having is once I get these videos situated, once I get them, do the voiceovers and all that, internet. Gotta have the internet, man. Traveling around, going to city, state to state, and all that. The internet speeds vary, man. I got Verizon with my second phone, and I got Cricket with my main phone. I know some of y'all gonna talk smack. Like, yeah, Cricket is trash. No, they ain't. No, they ain't, man. I've been rocking Cricket since 2019, man. They coverage is pretty good because they use that AT&T's network. So their coverage is pretty good, man. There's been a lot of situations where, I will have Cricket coverage where I'm at, but I don't have no Verizon. And what's funny is that if I don't have Verizon coverage, I also don't have Cricket coverage. If that makes sense. So yeah, Cricket is pretty good, man. But sometimes, Verizon they signal tend to be a little bit stronger. So that's why I went on here and rock with them. So I use my Verizon phone to upload my videos to YouTube. But like I said, man, sometimes these videos, man, it take forever for them to upload, depending on where I'm at. So that's why you may not see a video because I'm trying to put videos out more often. But it ain't always possible. So also when I was in that store, man, this beautiful woman came in there. Probably an older lady, maybe she in her looked like she could be in her 40s or something like that. But damn, she was beautiful. I was recording, but of course I ain't gonna record her. She was real nice. Just absolute beautiful woman, man. I love me a beautiful feminine woman, man. Who don't? But anyway, so we on our way. I forget how far I was from the receiver. Drop this load off. It's a nice sunny day. I think I was in South Carolina. I think. I don't know. Like I said, it's been almost 2 weeks since I recorded this, so I can't remember. But we here now. Pulled up, had to wait for him to make his little U-turn, then I had to make a U-turn down there. You see how tight it is? It was a struggle, boy. I'm like, man, look at him, man. But we got around that. These our trailers are split axle, so that front axle on the split axle trailer is the one that drags. And I try to be careful, man. You don't want to do that too often because then you could, you know, mess up your tires and all this other stuff. So, but that was the only way for me to do that. I had to make that little U-turn. So that's what I had to do. The guy, he was cool as hell. After I got all my straps off, came through, he started taking everything off. If you hear some pitter patter, it's raining outside. Sometime I watched this show on YouTube called Pop the Balloon or Find Love. Yeah, sometime I watched that, man. I know it's many different versions of that scattered around the internet. You know, some of them are real ghetto and all. You know, but for the most part, man, the original, I think it's the original one. The one with Arlette, Pop the Balloon or Find Love. That's the one that I usually watch if I do watch it. You know, I think every week or every 2 weeks she'll switch up. She'll have like the first segment be all females and some dudes will come out. And then the second one that she'll do maybe a week or two later be all dudes. And then, you know, one female come out at a time and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's entertaining. Entertainment. You know, I like it. It's cool. You know, I myself would never get on that show for obvious reasons. You know, I don't have the look because I don't really care either way. But still, I'm just never been into that whole, you know, game show dating and all this other stuff, man. It's just never been my thing. Also, this place I had to go pick up from, man, it was like 2 miles up the street. They sent that load, man. I was loving that, man. 2 miles up the street, man. So it was an easy pickup, picking up some wood. But yeah, back to what I was saying, man. Yeah, yeah, all that dating shows and stuff like that. I don't know, man. Relationships nowadays just don't seem to be really hitting like that no more. I don't know what's going on, man. It's like people just using relationships, I don't know, to better their own lives. It's not like they not really trying to get in a relationship for the long term, you know, because I always thought the ultimate goal of being in a relationship, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, all that, was so that you can get married, have kids. You know, the girl that you with, if things don't work out, you break up. Maybe you take a little break or something like that, a few months, maybe even a year or two. Then you get back out there. You look for a wife. You know, the Bible says when a man findeth a wife, he findeth a good thing. So I will always think that, you know, at least from a man's perspective, you're not like a player or nothing like that. From a man's perspective, I'm trying to, you know, he would, you know, want to get with a woman so that he can get married, have a family, have kids, and all that, pass down his legacy. That's what I always thought. But nowadays, man, I don't know. You know, when I watch that show, Pop the Balloon or Find Love, man, I mean, I don't know these people, but you know, then plus I don't watch the reunions. Sometimes a few months go past, and then she'll do like a little reunion, bring the ones that match, you know, see how things are going. Damn, man, and you know, I don't watch that, but I don't know, man. It's like when you watch that show, some of them women, man, they just got these really high standards. They just got these really high standards, man, and it's like I don't know, man. You know, I remember I was watching one episode. This female, she was on there. Dude came out, and she rejected him all because his lining of his hair wasn't right. His lining wasn't straight or something like that. That's the only reason why she rejected him. Now look, you know, I seen the guys, they, you know, reject females for, you know, for interesting stuff too. I think there was a female came out, it was a lineup of dudes, and one guy rejected. He popped his balloon because, you know, her toes weren't, you know, looking too good or something like that. You know, so well, I don't know. I guess with the toes is a little bit different because with a lining, your hair will grow back and then you could just, you know, straighten it out. But with the toes, you know, I mean, I mean, if her toes were crooked, then I mean, the only way to fix that is to get surgery. So, but at the same time, it may not be her fault. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she was born like that. You know, sometimes women may get twisted up toes because because the shoes that she got on was still, man. So I get it. And I know I ain't the one to be throwing stones. The way I look, come on, man. Like I said, I know I'm ugly, so I can't really talk about nobody, man. I ain't looking for a perfect woman, not at all, man. I'm just looking for that woman for me. That's it. That's all I want. And if I can find her, then cool. If not, then I ain't gonna really worry about it. But I guess some guys they really like that. And plus, on top of that, I don't mind females with tattoos. I know that also could be a big thing. A lot of guys I be seeing it online. A lot of guys they don't like women with tattoos and stuff like that, or maybe not tattoos that they could see. Like if she got tattoos on her chest and they could see it, or on her arms or hands or anything like that. For me, I don't know. I never had a problem with that. And it's interesting because I don't have not a single tattoo anywhere on me because they don't mean nothing to me. Like I have zero interest in getting tattoos, zero. But to see a female with them, it don't bother me at all, like at all. So they're just my thing. I mean, I'm not saying I'm gonna marry her or anything like that, but a female with tattoos don't bother me. So, but I get why some guys may not be into it. Matter of fact, some people try to liken a beautiful woman with tattoos as putting a bumper sticker on a Ferrari. Which is, I mean, I guess I get that, but I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it don't bother me none, but to each his own. But I don't know these relationships, man. Especially when you look at the divorce rate. I saw one. This I think I forget how the post go. This female said something like, "Yeah, even though women, initiate the divorce at like 70% or something like that, she still found a way to blame the men, saying it's the men's fault." She was saying something like the men, they not doing what they supposed to do as husbands or fathers or anything like that. No, or they are doing everything they can do, but she just bored with them. I don't know, maybe the streets calling her name. Who knows? I don't know. I don't live in that household. But that's one of the reasons why, even though I don't, I mean, I want a wife. I want to get married, but at the same time, I'm really not looking. I know I said earlier I was looking, but I'm not. I ain't looking, man. I mentioned, I think in one of my other videos where I mentioned that, if it's meant for me to get married, I get married, cool. But if not, I don't pray for her. I don't go out looking for her. I'm out here trying to get myself together, man. Living out here in the United States is getting harder and harder, man. It's getting too expensive out here, man. Having families and having kids and all that. Matter of fact, a lot of they say it's actually probably cheaper to get a dog or a cat and raise that than it is to have kids, man. That's crazy, man. It seems like that's what people used to look forward to. Going to school, getting that good job, and getting a wife, getting kids, buying a house. 2.5 kids. The whole situation, the whole American dream situation. Y'all know that. And yeah, there are some people here that got that, and that's cool. That's good, man. I know people spend a lot of time on social media and all they hear is about all this doom and gloom, but you gotta understand there are even some young people, even some Gen Zers out here. Some of them going out here, they get them, the guy find his high school sweetheart and all that, and that's cool. And actually, they will spend the rest of their lives together. It will happen. Now it may not be as often as it was during the baby boomer years or even my generation, which is the millennial. Now I think there was a generation between mine and baby boomers. I think I forget what it was called. Was it Gen X? I don't know. I can't remember. But either way, no, there will be situations where you have the newer generations that will end up getting married and having a family and everything like that, and everything work out. And they spend the next 50, 60 years married and happy, and and that's cool. But generally speaking, I mean, yeah, man, relationships just seem to be going downhill now. Matter of fact, I saw a comment someone put in. They was like, a lot of women when they look for dudes, they seem to want him just as an accessory. No, I'm 6'1", but for some females, I'm short. I'm not short. 6'1", I'm not short. Some females they want that nigga that's 6'8", 6'9", 7 feet tall, and all that. I don't know why. I'm not jealous. I just don't know why. Like, why does she want a dude that tall for? Is it for protection? She think that he gonna protect her or something? Protect her from what? From aliens? like, what is he gonna protect her from, man? You know, there's some dudes out here that are like 5'4" that beat the living dog shit out of a dude that's 6'8". Real talk, man. This little nigga run around, you know, being that small, man, can have his advantages, man. I mean, he could probably fit in tight places and doing all this other stuff, man. I don't know, man. It just weird. That's the thing with that pop the balloon or find love show, man. You just see so many females that turn down dudes because they just not tall enough. And some of those dudes, some of them females, should be like 5 feet tall, and the dude that she rejected, he like, I don't know, 5'8" or something like that. Like, come on, man. He's still taller than you, but she got heels on, so it make her maybe 2 or 3 inches taller. I don't know, man. I don't know, man. Like, I'm not a female, man, so I just don't. That whole, that type of logic just don't make a lot of sense to me. Like I said, I'm not a short dude at all, man. I'm 6'1", yeah, but I'm not short. So that's just what it is. So but like I said, man, I've seen there was some dudes on there that got rejected because he was 6 feet, 6'1", 6'2", because he wasn't tall enough. Like, damn, man. It's funny, man. It's just funny. That's why I watch that show, because it's entertainment to me. Just straight up entertainment. So back to my load here. I had to tarp this load. No, that tarp station was way around in the back somewhere. I had to drive all over around there. I'm like, man, where this place at, man? They had signage, but it just wasn't clear enough. But you see, I found it. And they had two tarp machines. They had the one that I originally was gonna back under, that you see me when I backed under there, but then I ended up pulling out because there was another driver in there. He told me it didn't work. So I go around to this tarp machine that you see right there. And of course, I'm over there pressing the buttons and doing all this other stuff. And that also wasn't working. So I asked the driver, I'm like, man, what's going on? Did you use this? He said, no. He said it didn't work for him either. So he just took his tarps and just threw them on top. I'm like, damn, man. So, but he did manage to call the guy over there and let him know, because it takes batteries. So I didn't open it up to see what type of batteries it took. So, and I didn't feel like waiting on him because I already was sitting there for about 20 minutes. And he still ain't showed up. So I'm like, let me go ahead and just throw this up here now. That's why I was throwing that tarp up there. And you see him up there struggling. But eventually he showed up, and he put batteries in there and it worked. So you'll see me when I use it for the front tarp. So I put the back tarp on my hand that you see I'm doing here. I'm trying to, but I'm over there struggling. And then they got caught up on the corners right there. Look at that. Struggling, boy. I want to try to get as much of it up on top like that before I crawl back down and see my knee pads coming off. Boy, struggling, boy. But I want to get as much of that up top before I crawl back down there and pull the rest up. Because even like that, man, that thing was heavy. Either that or I was just tired. Yeah, that's what it was. I was just tired, man. I be jealous. I see them guys, they hop up and down. This stuff is like, man, how do y'all do that, man? My knees ain't built for all of that. I mentioned this before, man. I've always had problems with my knees since I was in my mid 20s. I don't know if because I used to run a lot when I was a kid. Like I just stayed like exercising, riding my bike, running around the park. I just stayed doing that, jumping off of stuff. When you do all as much of that athletic stuff that I was doing when I was a kid, I guess it caught up to me. Cause when I got my 20s, boy, I was like 25 years old, boy. My knees felt like they were about 60 years old, boy. I'm like, man, what the hell going on around here? I ain't never went to the doctor or nothing like that, man. But man, ever since then, man, it's just hard for me to climb up and down on stuff. And that's why I didn't want to do flatbed at first. That's the main reason why I didn't want to do it, because I was afraid that I might fall or something. And they had that random piece of wood sitting up there. I mean, I can still crawl up there. I just gotta take my time. That's it. All that I see, a lot of these other guys out here, they jumping up and down on these trailers and all that. I'm like, man, y'all some good ones, man. I can't do all that. No way. That's why when you see me crawling down there, you see me, I'm taking my sweet time getting back down there, man. Cause I ain't trying to slip and I ain't trying to blow out my kneecaps or nothing like that. Cause I heard that hurts. This job is hard enough as it is. Like I said, I'm just trying to show as much as I can, man. Want to get it straight, make it look good. Keep that thing as straight as I can. Yes, look at that. I don't play. So now it's time for me to crawl back down. I couldn't go the other way because I didn't want to take no chances. Because I couldn't see what was what. Crawling down there, I'm like, man, how do I get down? I was actually higher than it looks. I know on camera it don't look that high. At that point, the guy already came back and put a new battery in there. But first, I just want to do this first before I throw that front tarp on. And the wind was blowing something crazy too, boy. That's why I was trying to hurry up and get them corners cinched down just in case that wind catch it and blow the whole thing off and I gotta do all that over again. Get them corners down. So I did all that. Now it's time for me to go ahead and put the front one on. Got it to work. And then as I got it over, that's when I realized you see where my truck is situated. Then you see that mirror eye, that camera on top of the truck right there. As I was bringing that down, I knew that that thing was gonna hit that camera. So I'm like, damn, man, I gotta readjust my truck. And at the same time, all that was happening, the battery in the camera died. So yeah, the battery in the camera ended up dying, man. And this one of them cameras where it's got a built-in battery, so I couldn't switch it out. So that's why I just said, man, hell with it. I just used this. See, that's when I noticed that my truck was too close, so I had to readjust. I brought it back up, and I got over a little bit so I could readjust. Just like that. Now we good. Put that on now. And like I said, that wind started picking up too, boy. So brought that up. Grab that flap. See that wind? Look at that. Yes, sir. And wind wasn't playing. Tried to make it as even as I could, boy. Trying to make it look good. Once I got it to where I liked it, took it off, and we was done. The other truck there, I told him, man, I'll move, man, but he didn't. He already got his situated, so I just said to hell with it, man. I just need to use it just so I put it up there. But I could finish doing all that later, but it is what it is. Looking good. I'm actually getting a little bit better with them tarps, man. I think. I mean, you can't help but get better. As much tarping as we be doing over here. Look at that. It was tight. Driving down the road, it didn't come loose, of course. I mean, it was on there. At that point, it's time to ride. Driving through there, it's like a maze. Bust that right, go around. Look at that. Then I got on the scale. You don't have to get on the scale. It was optional. No, but it's always a good thing to get on it. Just to make sure your weights are good, which it was. I think we was like 74,000 or something like that. But I do be wondering what the future of relationships gonna be like, man. You know, the family structure. I talked about this before. Like I said in these videos, man, I'm gonna be talking about a lot of the same stuff. You know, because to me it's important. I like talking about this. I'm not a relationship expert. You know, not at all. I'm not here giving people advice, telling people what they should or shouldn't like. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't really care what women like. I mean, she could like a dude that's 6'8". If for whatever reason, I don't care. I mean, that's her preference. You know, like who you like. You know, but I'm just saying, man, that type of stuff. You know, I don't know. It seemed like when you have standards that's that high, you know, it makes it easier for you to just be alone. It just keeps you by yourself for long periods of time. So I stopped at this truck stop because I need to take a shower. Parked in that spot right there. You know, that truck stop only had parking for about 25 trucks. And thank God that was that one spot left. And what I didn't know at the time is that one spot that I took was a paid parking. It was a reserved parking. And after I took my shower, I got back to my truck and I noticed there was no paid parking available. No, for me to pay for. There was none left. It was all taken up. So I'm like, damn, man. So I knew that someone paid for a parking spot, you know, earlier, and they probably on their way, you know, to get that one. Probably, I don't know. Or maybe someone paid for one and decided not to show up. I mean, that could be a possibility too. But either way, I'm like, man, I hope I ain't got to move. You know, by the time I got done taking my my shower though, I still had hours left. I had about three hours left on my clock. So I just sat in my truck to about 10, 11 o'clock at night, waiting to see what happens. But he never showed up. I never got that knock on my door. None of that. I'm like, thank you, Jesus. Because I sure didn't feel like moving. But yeah, I ended up staying there the whole night, went to sleep and slept good, boy. It always feel good to sleep in a paid parking spot that you didn't pay for. Real talk, man. I'll catch y'all on the next one.